Welcome to Levity, a series navigating mental health through Judaism during a time of unrest for Israel and the Jewish people. Today we're talking about grief. Grief is a human emotion that arises in response to loss. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a relationship, or the familiar rhythms of life, grief can be profound and challenging. In the wake of October 7th, 2023, and with rising anti-Semitism and Israel at war, many in the Jewish community are experiencing profound grief, maybe without even realizing it. Yet, even in the face of such pain, Judaism offers wisdom and guidance for coping with grief and finding moments of solace. Before we dive in, a reminder that this is an educational series and not replacement for professional mental health services. If you're struggling with your mental health, please seek out help from a professional. Judaism doesn't shy away from the realities of grief. In fact, it acknowledges grief's universality and inevitability as a natural response to loss, deeply intertwined with the human condition. Take the story of Abraham. After the passing of Sarah, Abraham's wife, the Torah depicts Abraham's pain in Genesis 23:2. Quote, "Sarah died, and Abraham came to mourn Sarah and weep for her." Like Abraham, the first step in managing grief is by acknowledging and processing it, not bottling it in. In the aftermath of Sarah's passing, as recounted in Genesis 24, Abraham embarks on a crucial mission, finding a wife for his son Isaac. This story teaches us a valuable lesson. Grief doesn't have to paralyze us. We can honor the memory of loved ones or even the familiar rhythms of life that are no more, while taking steps to ensure the well-being of ourselves and our families, even in the midst of sorrow. The Jewish practice of sitting Shiva, observed after the loss of a relative, offers a structured space for experiencing grief. In Jewish tradition, mourners gather with their friends and family for 7 days, receiving support and comfort. This tradition stems from the recognition that individual grief needs communal healing. Surrounded by loved ones and guided by rituals, mourners can begin to process their emotions and rebuild their lives. While the context of Shiva may or may not directly apply to the grief you're experiencing following the tragedies of 10/7, its core principle remains relevant. No matter what you're going through or feeling, you can still seek out and cultivate this sense of communal care and connection, whether at a local synagogue, Jewish community center, or Shabbat table surrounded by friends and family. Both Judaism and modern psychology provide various practices that can offer support and guidance during times of grief. There's tzedakah, a Hebrew word commonly translated as charity. No matter who or what you're grieving, contributing to a cause that's important to you can infuse your grief with meaning and remembrance. There's also chesed, acts of loving kindness. While grieving, consider turning outward by volunteering, visiting the sick, or cooking a meal for someone in need. By focusing on the well-being of others, you may find a sense of purpose and connection that can support your journey of healing. You may also consider something as simple as journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings about your loss, no matter what that loss is, can be a simple but powerful tool for processing your emotions and gaining perspective. Mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing can also help you manage the overwhelming emotions that often accompany grief. By focusing on the present, you can create a healthy space between yourself and your pain. You may also consider creating a memory box of photos, mementos, and letters expressing your feelings of loss. This can be a comforting way to keep any memory alive, and a way to revisit those memories if and when you're feeling up for it. Remember, healing is a journey, it's not a destination. This has been Levity, a series exploring mental health during a time of unrest for Israel and the Jewish people. Please like and subscribe to never miss an episode, and drop a comment with what topics you want us to cover next.